This is my Access Virus Ti2 desktop module. It needs a new memory battery, or at least I hope that's the only issue it has. The symptoms it has are the RAM banks are empty and sometimes it doesn't even boot. So flip it over. The first step was to remove 6 screws. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the back panel lifts off. The screws are self-tapping, and they came off with like iron filings on them, and also some fell into the synth, which I had to pick out with tweezers because if they end up between the pins of these chips, then that could break the synth all over again. This is the offending battery, so I need to get it out. There. Be careful not to pull up on this too hard when you're removing the battery, because if you bend it out of shape, then it'll no longer make contact with the new battery. And just in case, I'm going to push it down, because I may have been a bit rough on it. Now I can use a voltmeter to confirm that the battery really is dead. So the dead battery reads 36 millivolts. Wow, it's like dead. And the new battery, 3.2 volts, which is about what it should be. The battery type is CR2032. It goes in with the positive side up. And then, yeah, make sure that it's actually being held down by the spring. It's important to note that the back panel sounds like this. I lied, that's not important. Oh, this is backwards. Okay. It's not symmetrical. There. And then shake the iron filings off of the spring, off of the screws. One of them is visible to the camera anyway. For each screw, start by turning it backwards until it clicks into the existing thread, so you won't end up cutting a new thread. There shouldn't be any real resistance to putting the screws back in. Now let's check if it works. It's really slow. Why is it staying on welcome and not going to the main menu? Oh man. If I try to turn it off. Great, it looks like something else is wrong with it too. Okay, I'm not exactly sure why it was getting stuck on the welcome screen a few minutes ago, but AI suggested holding ARP edit while plugging in the power cord to perform some kind of hard reset of the RAM, I guess. And it just keeps doing this blinking until you release the ARP edit button, and now it boots. So I guess the corrupted SRAM was somehow blocking the synth from turning on. Now it's working. Incidentally, some people online think this has something to do with the battery, but it's not. It's actually indicating how much CPU load the current patch requires. So for some patches it's 1 dot, and for others it's up to 5. And the less dots there are, the more polyphony you can get. And I'll just demonstrate that the RAM banks are working now. If I can remember how this works, I'll just change the filter type to bandpass and then save it. Store. Okay, you just keep pressing store. And if I power off, Power on again. It should remember which patch it had loaded and not go to ROM bank A this time. Yeah, it remembered that. So, should be good for another 10 years or so until the battery needs changing again. And this time I'll back up my patches. Thanks for watching.